All right, guys. Hello, and welcome to the channel, Divine Truth Tarot. I will be doing a reading today discussing the energies between the divine feminine and divine masculine. This full moon in Libra that we had on Sunday, Monday, depending on where you reside in the world, was the most intense full moon that I can remember probably in the past 10 plus years. So give this video a thumbs up if the moon was that intense for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Tap the bell icon to receive all notifications, because when I do post videos, almost 99.9% of the time I post them as a pre-recorded live reading. So if you want to be able to comment and interact, because I do have my comments turned off at this time, as a lot of readers do, we are protecting our pages, our channels, and our energies, as well as those of your energies as well. So that's a great way to interact with the community. And so I highly suggest that you go ahead and tap that bell. If you're looking for a personal reading, I'm booking out through the month of April now, and I'm booking up pretty quickly. I'm about a third of the way booked already. So if you're wanting a reading, do reach out to me. The email is listed below in the description box. And if you'd like to become a supporter over on Patreon, we have special interactions over there. It's a much more intimate community and environment. And in addition, I do post extra videos, extra readings, and the like. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get right into the energies here of the twin flames. I'm gonna be using my brand new deck by our beloved soul sister, Maria. It's a gift from Maria. So give Maria a shout out if you're in the live chat. Maria's amazing. She's been my client for several months, perhaps the better part of a year now, really since I first started the channel. She's an incredible supporter of the channel, as many of you are as well, and I'm extremely thankful for each and every one of you. So she bought us this really incredible deck. It's the Syrian Starseed Tarot. I was really called to pull in the Elemental Oracle as well, and I think we're gonna hit up, I'm not sure. I've got the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards, the Earth Magic Oracle cards, and the Magical Dimensions. So we'll just see. But I'm actually going to go ahead and start with the Elemental Oracle. So let's set the Starseed Tarot aside, and let's go ahead and tune into the energies. Calling on the Archangels of the highest order. Please be present in this reading. Archangel Michael, please create a sphere of loving white protection around this reading and around everyone watching, and myself included. And I ask that I be a pure vessel of divine truth, unconditional love, clarity, compassion, empathy, understanding, as well as power, divine powers coming through today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And I want to call on the ancestors to come in as well. I'm calling on my ancestors to come in, as well as my guides, my team, my white light team, my blue light team, being present for this reading. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Ho'oponopono prayer is being called with this Libra full moon. And if you guys want some more information on what the hell just happened, I did do a written video about this. I believe I did it on Friday, or maybe it was Saturday. I think it was Friday. So go ahead and have a look at that. I'm pretty sure it was Friday. Check that out. It's one of my written videos. And I do talk about the energies of this full moon because they were so intense. I was basically unable to really function for the past week. And in addition, my cycle lined up to the full moon, which was super stellar. Sarcasm detected. It was really intense. It was draining. I was extremely fatigued. And so those of you waiting on personal readings, I had to delay those because I was just not in the right energy. But I have reached out to each and every one of you personally, so you know that your reading is on the way, and I will be working on those today. Oh, excuse me, throat chakra. I will be working on those today because I'm in a much better energy, and it's like that full moon went through and then all of a sudden it's like relief, right? So that full moon was in cahoots, or in convergence, with the wounded healer Chiron. Chiron is an asteroid. Chiron is extremely powerful and can really feel emotionally draining. So a lot of us just felt emotionally drained. So let's tap into those energies of what was going on and coming on the outside, or the other side of this full moon. We've got music, joy, attraction, magnetism. Yeah, no shit. The attraction, the magnetism of that full moon, it was telling us that there's a lot of solar flares that were going on in the cosmos as well. A lot of energies at play is what I'm hearing. They're just showing me like a swirling energy ball. So a lot of things at play with this Libra full moon. And of course, I mean, anyone was affected by that. Sometimes I think certain signs will be more affected. I feel like I don't really have Libra, I don't think, anywhere in my chart. And if I do, it's not a very important placement. It's not like I don't have Sun and Libra, Moon. I don't have any North and South and none of that. So for me to be that affected by this full moon, I think it had more to do with the Chiron lineup. And I also, and Venus, there was a connection with Venus there as well. And I feel like a lot of us were just sort of retracing or going back over, like revisiting, kind of like the ghosts of the past is what they're showing me, where we may have felt heartbroken in the past, not necessarily even over your divine counterpart, but any relationship that you had. And I'm hearing, especially for those of you who were married, this would have been very painful, very emotionally charged full moon that sort of like asked you to go back over that love story and remember it and keep the good parts in your heart and remember that you're capable of loving and being loved is what's coming through as a channeled message. So it was very potent. It was also extremely uncomfortable. There was a lot of discomfort, physical discomfort, backaches, headaches. I'm also hearing some of you might have even gotten migraines, the type where it's hard to see clearly or where you actually see auras or colors from the migraine. So they're showing me that as well. Part of that was, ascension upgrades, the recalibration of our cells, the recalibration of us to a crystalline DNA. So there was definitely part of that, carbon DNA to crystalline DNA. And the other part of that, it was that you may have also felt like if you did get your cycle, if it did sync up with this full moon, like I'm sure most of you or a lot of you experience that. If you're a female who gets their cycle, obviously, and if you're a male and you're a divine feminine, you may have experienced this with stomach cramps. You may have experienced a lower back pain. You may have experienced even feeling like your breasts were swollen, which would have been really weird to experience, but stranger things have happened on this journey, okay? Stranger things. Almost like a phantom pain, like you're feeling the energies for the female, for the divine feminine female. Okay, so that could have happened as well. So backaches, low backaches in particular, headaches, severe cramping, abdominal cramping, worse than usual, moodiness, lethargy, insomnia, all of these wonderful things coming to the surface, as well as some sinus congestion, as well as the migraines, the aura. And I'm also seeing some of you might have experienced some intense crown chakra activations or upgrades. So in other words, a lot of activations happening, okay? And it's time to now, hopefully you rested last week, and now it's time to really just step into this place of really just honoring that we are starting a new chapter. We're about to turn a new page here as we enter April, guys. It's about to happen. So let us feel prepared. Let us be excited that something new is happening. Sorry, my microphone's a bit, it's a bit like being a bit testy, so I hope that the volume is okay. And tell me about the divine masculine energy. Wow, okay, divine masculine energy sort of all over the place. Purity, silence, snow. Yes, so reflecting the silence that the divine masculine collective was likely in over this Libra full moon. Now, some of you have reached out to me and told me, hey, I'm back in communication. My divine masculine reached out to me. That is fantastic. And that is awesome to hear. Okay, so I am receiving those stories. For those of you who are like, where the hell is my communication? You've been talking about it. Every reader's been talking about it. It's coming. It's on the way. And it will be at different times, and in different ways, shapes, and forms for different people. But I do feel like, you know, this is a blanket of snow on the ground. So I do feel like the masculines were just deep in contemplation with this Libra full moon. And I feel like they were contemplating where in their life they may have hurt others, where in their life they may have stripped themselves of joy. You know, this music card tells me that they were definitely communicating with the feminines over this full moon. I'm hearing 2 weeks prior, 2 weeks after here. So we're still in that period where they'll be communicating via music, via songs, via... You're gonna just hear an old song and go, it's just gonna hit you. I was sitting there, okay, and I channeled this. There's a channeled song on my latest Patreon message, my Patreon video. It's a channeled letter, a love letter from the Divine Masculines, very emotionally charged, specifically for this full moon. And a channeled song came through, and guys, it's really powerful. And I sat there and I was just weeping with the emotions that I could feel coming through. And then yesterday, was it yesterday? The day before, I was having a very emotional day. I talked about it a little bit over on Patreon and what was going on personally. And so I was really having a tough day, tapping into my counterparts' feelings. I tap into the Divine Masculine, the collective, you know, that's how I'm able to channel. I tap into the feminine collective and just the general collective, which is just absolutely chaotic, like balls to the wall. The blue pills trying to stay in the blue pill energy, the red pills like wake the fuck up. So there's all of this energy out there that's very chaotic, very distorted, still very, very troubling, very scary. There's still a lot of fear. There's still a lot of where do we go next? What's going to happen next? And nobody knows. Okay. So we're all traveling through this together, sort of like this tunnel, and we're looking for the light. And then we realize the light is inside of us. And so if you guys have watched that movie, A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, it's actually brilliant. It's a brilliantly done video, regardless of how you feel about the actors themselves. And the emotional connection that they were able to capture in that movie was just stunning. And I listened to 3 particular songs. Go check out the soundtrack, guys, and let me know if that is resonating, because this is coming through as music, as it's going to be different songs for different people. But those songs, I mean, I was listening to them on repeat over and over on Sunday, and I just couldn't get the energy. I couldn't get the sadness, you know, out of my heart. It was like it was pulling on my heart chakra. So the masculines were communicating, and they were communicating, you know, through that. And one of the verses that really stood out to me was, I don't want to just be a memory. You know, it's like they don't want to just be a memory to us, and we don't just want to be a memory to them. And that's sometimes how it feels like on this journey. And it can be really sad to think, is this just the end? And just when we think it's the end, there's always this new beginning, okay? This door that opens. We get a phone call, we get a text message, something changes. Your masculine surprises you. They're full of surprises. And I do feel like, you know, that saying, April showers bring May flowers. I do definitely feel like the masculines are going to be coming through and pulling through and really pulling themselves out of this silence as we come into the month of April. And then May, you know, we're going to see a lot of changes in April, personally, individually, and in our own lives, and just with action, because we're still in Aries season. And then I feel like we're going to, you know, we go into Taurus season, which is very grounded, okay? Very grounded, very stabilizing, which is great to have after the fiery, passionate energy of Aries, okay? And I feel as though, and then we go into Gemini season, okay? Gemini is all about communication. It's all about clarity, communication. And then I have a throat chakra issue. Wow. So I do feel like there is preparation, you know, to come out of this silence. There is a need, like a desperation for the masculines to come out of this energy. There's a storm that's going to come through, that is coming through to cleanse, to clear the energy, to clear the space, to create that divine timing for the masculines to step forward. Because the masculines, a lot of them have wanted to come forward, but they haven't been able to break the silence, or maybe they broke it and then retreated back into silence, which is what a lot of them did after they gave you that 3D check-in to their life. And they were like, oh, just kidding. They weren't ready, okay? They're still getting their shit together, getting their affairs in order, getting their lives situated. But also the divine was instructing them, it's not time, you're not ready. And if you come in now, you're going to fuck things up. Okay? Divine feminine. We have to remember also that Rejection is God's protection. So when your masculine is, when it looks like they are rejecting you, you're actually being protected from whatever energy they're in, what space they're in, who they're surrounded by, whatever they're going through. They're trying to protect you. They are protecting you, and you're protecting yourself also. So try not to take it personally. It's challenging, I know, because sometimes on this journey, it will feel like your masculine is saying goodbye forever, or this is the final goodbye. And that it is. It's an ending of what was. It's an ending of a cycle. It's an ending of the way in which you were communicating, the way in which you were interacting with your masculine, so that a new cycle can start. And it's inevitable. It's also imperative that these things happen. So try not to read too much into that. So we have for the feminine, growth, plants. Yeah, this is exactly what the feminine's going through. The feminine is growing through this. And through this growth, the feminine has learned a lot about herself, about her ability to take care of herself, her ability to fend for herself, her ability to get things done, her ability to be strong, both emotionally and physically. And if you have lacked physical vitality through this journey, I do feel like that's going to be picking up speed from April on through the remainder of the year. April being a very strong month, June feeling like a very strong physical month as well. I'm also seeing, September, October, maybe even through November, December. So there's going to be a lot more energy, the vitality on this journey, where we've rested so much through 2020, so much through the first 3 months of this year, that we're finally going to get a little oomph, right? A little fire under our feet, and we're going to be able to pick up speed. We're going to be able to start accomplishing those things in the physical. And even if it just means going for a walk, which can be sometimes so challenging on this journey to actually, wait, how do you expect me to get up and walk? I can't move, right? So those things are going to change. Things are going to be shifting on this journey. What about an energy for union? Okay. Depth. Yeah, there's a depth that's coming through here, for the connection in terms of what's happening right now. There's been like a submergence where we've gone into our subconscious, we've gone into those more subtle realms, and we've been assessing those realms. We've been assessing our feelings. We've been assessing who we are. We've been assessing our inner masculine and feminine, bringing them, marrying them into this divine union so that this can be reflected in the physical world. And once again, we have endurance rock, which comes through over and over for the union energy when I do these readings and use this deck. So I do feel like the masculines are definitely coming through saying, this is not a sprint. This is a long distance run. Okay. And this is the feminines acknowledging this as well, that this is long distance. I remember saying one time to my masculine, I'm in this for the long haul. And the masculines, when they're in distortion, they can't see how somebody like you could ever love somebody like them, support somebody like them, stay by their side. They've never had somebody do that. So they try to push you away over and over and over and over and over. And they actually, part of them, that distorted part of them, hopes that you'll just eventually just get the hint, walk away. So sometimes they're cruel about it. Sometimes they're blunt. And they may even tell you, you deserve someone better. You should go find that person. You're gonna get that person. I'm not it. And in that moment, I think they've convinced themselves that they believe that, but that's not truly what they want. They don't want you to find somebody else. They don't want you to be with anybody else. They would be absolutely heartbroken and miserable, but they're too afraid to admit that to themselves, because what if this doesn't work out? This would absolutely crush them. It's not like, again, I've talked about this before, where a 3D relationship is safer. It's safer for all of us because you're not going to actually get heartbroken, because nothing could ever compare to the love you feel for your counterpart. So it's like, well, sure, fine. Like, that's fine. If somebody breaks up with me, no big deal. Okay, I can handle that. But when your divine counterpart walks away, the masculines already felt shattered when you walked away in the past, or when they had to walk away from you in the past. And for them to think, I have to go through that again, they don't think that they could actually physically or emotionally, mentally, spiritually, psychologically survive that. So that's what's going on there when they push you away. That's part of the story anyway. Okay. So we have the energy of karma. This is justice coming in. What a beautiful energy. This is the justice card in the tarot deck. So this lotus flower blooming open, things are going to be shifting in favor of these divine connections. Also, I'm hearing for the divine feminine, shifting in favor of finances and money and abundance. If you've been looking to move into a new home, feminine, if you've been looking to change careers, or I'm hearing change gears, so maybe it's a sort of the car industry, automotive industry for some of you, that's came up very specifically for maybe 1, 2, or 3 people. That could be a message coming through. This is also the message of understanding that karmic completions are right around the corner, because right after this card, we have the World card, which signifies karmic completions. After that, you step into the Fool energy again. You step back into the beginning, you step into a brand new cycle, and that's exactly what we're on the verge of here. We're on the verge of completing this karmic cycle. We're on the verge of wrapping things up in this tight little neat box, okay, once and for all. We've learned these lessons. The last year and a half has been most brutal, and a lot of us went into some form of separation at the end of 2020. Don't worry if you're not in that wave. You say, I'm not in separation, or I've been in separation for years. I'm just the collective that I channel for. A lot of you did go into separation at the time, but if you're not, that's okay. This can still be your message. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And make sure you're looking at this also as your inner divine masculine, your inner divine feminine, and not just the outer. So when we focus too much on the outer, we lose sight of the inner child that needs healing and needs us. We lose sight of our worlds, of the progress, okay, the progress that we're making in our physical realities, our day-to-day realities. It's very important that we stay on task right now. Very, very important. The world is counting on us. The world needs us in our power, and the world needs us in a place of peace and clarity, and really understanding that we have a much, much bigger role to play in this world than just a romantic, just being a romantic partner. And I think I'm finally starting to fully realize that myself. Like I said it, I spoke it, I told myself this, I told you guys this, but now I'm finally really understanding there is so much more to this journey than just the romantic part of it. That's a beautiful aspect of it. I am by no means undermining that. I am by no means sweeping that under the rug. That is very important. I want that. I desire that. And that's normal to want that. That's normal to desire that. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Okay? However, right now, that may have to just be sort of put on a back burner. It's there. It's still burning. It's still glowing. The ember is still there. But the fire that's raging right now in the world is what's requiring our attention. And that's what we're called to do. Whatever your role in this is, okay? Taking that red pill, waking up the collective, helping others understand, okay? That things are not what they seem, that this is an illusion, that things need to change, that things have to change, that this had to happen. There's so much more to that story. There's so much more to that. But just know that karma it's sweeping across the planet right now. And as karma sweeps across the planet, everything, and we're in this Aquarius season, okay? The age of Aquarius, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where everything that was hidden now comes to the surface, to be observed, to be regarded as truth. Nothing can be hidden. Karma will be served. We are reaching that point of no return on this planet in many ways. So understand there's a very vital significance of this karma card, of this justice card, on way more levels than just one, than just the romantic connection. This is why a lot of karmic contracts ended in 2020. This is why many of your masculines, or you yourself, went through a divorce, went through an ending of a job in 2020, or the early stages here of 2021. This is why it had to happen that way. There was no other way. Okay, this was contracted to end. Just like you know, the food has an expiration date. It's a contract. Those contracts had to end. The contracts we had with ourselves of self-harm, of hurting ourselves and believing that we were separate, those all had to end as well. This is all karma playing out, and karma is playing out on the planet. And we're going to see that over the next several years here. Many, many things are going to change on this planet. The way that we live, the way that we survive, the way that we interact with each other, the way that we food, okay, the way that we access food, the way that we access money, all of those things are shifting and changing. Astrology has talked about it. Astrology has been saying this for decades. Now we're seeing it happen. We're waking up and seeing it actually happen. So let's shift over here to the Six of Orbs, which is the Six of Swords. This talks about leaving an arduous journey behind and beginning anew, beginning fresh, beginning something new, moving to and sailing to brighter seas, leaving the storm behind. Okay? Leaving what was painful, leaving what was perceived to be that dark night of the soul, leaving behind things that are no longer in alignment because justice has been served. Those karmic contracts have ended. Definitely there's a journey, there's a rite of passage that the seeker, okay, that the hero, this is the hero's journey, the movement through the tarot deck, is experiencing. And when you've hit the Six of Swords, you know that, again, it's the point of no return. I can no longer go back to that place. I can no longer open that door. That door is no longer my door. So humanity is saying that door is no longer our door. And you're saying personally, that door is no longer my door. So moving on to brighter times and also bringing hope. This is like instilling hope in the seeker, instilling hope in you. Let's get some energy for the masculine energy. Masculine energy, please. These cards are a little challenging to they're quite challenging actually to shuffle, but I love them so much. I just have to find a way. It's like my hands can't quite hold the cards. And so I end up, look, I've got like 12 cards coming out. Okay. Can we have one card for the masculines? No, we'll get 5. All right, they want me to take this one. 7 of Orbs, 7 of Swords. Interesting. What do we have here? We have a little bit of wonderment. We have wonderment here. We have a hot air balloon, and it looks like the hot air balloon is giving away these orbs. When we see the 7 of Swords, okay, we see that there's this energy of okay. It's like 7 of Swords can sometimes talk about unethical behavior. And so I feel like in this card, this person has stolen these orbs, these balloons, whatever they will be, balls. And he's like, I want to take as many as I can and just take them with me, but they're not meant to be taken. So there's something that the masculine, I think the masculine's reflecting and realizing there are ways that I've behaved which weren't actually in alignment with who I truly am, and they're not proud of this. They're definitely not proud of this energy. Realizing that they were living a deceptive life to themselves even, and that they weren't living in their truth and authenticity. And I feel like there might have been another sweep of this, another sort of chapter of this that was opened with a Libra full moon where they thought they had dealt with this and they're like, oh wait, no, wow, I really haven't dealt with this. I'm still living in misalignment. I'm still not living in my true authenticity. And so where has he been deceiving himself? And where has he been creating separation, right, from himself and I think from you and from the connection? Because when, you know, the masculine is very good at pretending to be happy. The masculines are very good at pretending everything's fine. I have received email after email. I've looked when I've done my readings for my clients, I mean, the feedback I receive, oh no, I mean, he's doing great. He looks happy. Social media, he told me he's happy. That does not mean that that's a true reflection of what's actually going on in their life. They don't want you to worry about them. And there's, again, that part of them that hopes if she thinks I'm okay, she'll just move on. And then she can be with the person she's really supposed to be with because I'm not good enough. There is still that mentality that the masculine is fighting. I'm just not good enough for her. What's interesting is, you know, with the Seven of Swords, it's like these balls are not, he can't take these with him. Wherever he's going, he can't take these with him. And these onlookers are like, hey, those aren't yours. Maybe they belong to them. You know, hey, those are ours. You're taking what's ours. The masculine in the past may have been, you know, greedy with money, greedy with resources. And the energy that's coming through is karma. The karma is stepping in to really assist the masculines with seeing things from a different perspective. Being able to see that you can't take what's rightfully not yours, including a mask that you're wearing, including this false narrative that you're spinning of your life, and oh, I'm happy and I'm fulfilled, and all of those things have come crashing down. I feel like there was another wave of that came crashing down with this Libra full moon that was probably quite uncomfortable for the masculine. So we have the Nine of Pentacles here to clarify the Seven of Swords. Nine of Crystals, that's the Nine of Pentacles in this deck. This is the single card, okay? So yeah, I mean, we do have the energy of somebody who's single, of somebody who's moving beyond illusion, moving beyond deception. And then look, we have the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Interesting, King of Pentacles. So yeah, Master of Crystals, King of Pentacles. Wow. What's interesting about the Master card here of Crystals, when we have the Master, this is the ultimate, you know, male authority. This is the king. You know, in this deck, the Sage is the queen. You know, the ultimate female authority. Okay, and there's a sense of mastery that the masculines have achieved. Believe it or not, even if you haven't seen any evidence of this in the 3D. And the Nine of Crystals tells me these masculines are single. Okay, or they're on the verge of being single, but most of them are single. You may not know this, they may not have told you this, or they may have come in and told you quickly and then gone off again and kind of scampered off and gone back into hiding and gone back into their bat cave. It's an inside joke, Ari. But regardless, this is somebody who has crystallized what it means to be a king, crystallized their 3D world. This is somebody who's a master of their domain in the physical reality, okay? This is the king that you want, because you've got the King of Cups, the King of Emotions. You've got the King of Swords, the king of your mind. You've even got the King of Wands, the King of Fire, the King of Passion. But this is the stable king. This is the king who's going to bring it all home and ground it into the physical. And to me, the King of Pentacles represents the ultimate king on this journey, the ultimate divine masculine, not the emperor, because he's too logical. He's too cold. He's not empathetic. He's not compassionate. This is a man who's balanced, who has his shit together, who knows what he wants, who goes after it, and who also has the ability to not only prove his commitment to you, but to follow through. And that's very important on this journey. The feminine has, you know, a lot of the feminines are like, until I see it, I'm not going to believe it. I'm just not going to believe it. Okay. So I feel like this is saying there's nothing to worry about, feminines. That masculine is coming through hot. They're coming in hot. Okay. And as they come in hot, they want to let you know, I am definitely not in that same energy. I am a king. I've risen. Or I am rising. But I'm going to go with I have risen. Right? The resurrection right before Easter. Easter is very significant this year. Very significant for many, 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 many reasons. And this is a masculine who has moved beyond these deceptive energies, moving beyond Six of Swords, and is moving into the energy again of being financially independent, regaining their confidence in the physical realm, and understanding that I deserve this abundance, I deserve this. But there's a purity, there's a sense of purity with this energy. Like, I've earned this, but I've earned it the right way. Whereas in the past, I don't think they were very, maybe even honest or ethical about how they earned their money. There was something there that was not on the up and up for a specific group, at least. It's interesting. I don't know if your masculine ended up in jail or like embezzlement or something is coming through like that. And that won't be for everybody. So if it's not your story, don't try to make it fit or resonate. Okay, feminine energy. Master. Wow. King of Wands. Look at this. We've got two kings coming through. I'm not surprised. We've got the masculine energy coming through as the King of Pentacles, the king of the domain of the 3D reality, okay? The king of the home. And then we've got the Master of Wands, the master of the spiritual realm, the master of passion, the master of magic. A very wise energy coming through. Somebody, this is the energy, okay, of the King of Wands is the energy of somebody who has mastered their connection to the divine, who has mastered their connection to other realms. And that is the king. I'm sorry, that is the queen. It's a king energy, but that is the queen. That is the divine feminine. So when we look at the flames, okay, when we look at the Wands energy, we see the energy of ignition. We see the energy of spark, and this represents the twins, right? The twin flames. This is the element of fire. And the fire is burning very strong at this time. For many of you who felt detached or sort of even apathetic about this journey, or your counterpart, this Libra full moon reignited everything, reignited all of that again. So this talks about the fire that is ignited within us. Okay, the fire, the flame of the soul, and the aspiration to achieve that greatness in this lifetime. Like, this is what we came here to do. This is my mission. This is also a connection to the ancestors, because we see this Native American, perhaps tribal elder or medicine man here. So the connection to the Native American realm, the Native American spirit, and many of us have those connections to Native Americans, excuse me. I'm having trouble talking today. We just got through Mercury retrograde, so I can't blame it on Mercury. There's some sort of a throat chakra glitch going on, though, with me today. So I apologize. Yeah, there's a sense of inspiration here. There's a sense of like a fiery will to continue. It's the sun is rising, right? The dawn is rising on a new day, putting the past to bed as Six of Swords energy again, rite of passage, moving into calmer waters, moving into a brand new beginning. And there's inspiration that the feminine is really tapping into at this time. There's possibility. It's like recognizing that the impossible can happen, and that the impossible is actually possible. This is the search for that higher meaning in life. So the masculine is like, and this is, look at this both internally and externally inside of you, right? Your feminine energy is has very much mastered the spiritual quest, the spiritual truth, okay? And has been granted access to that spiritual truth, and is really, really deep on that journey, deep in that journey right now. She cannot be pulled out of it. And then the masculine energy here, inside of you, within and without, is mastering the physical domain. So finally, it's like, I think for a long time where the feminine was just in this energy, that can be challenging to navigate the physical realm, the 3D realm. It can be difficult to keep jobs. It can be difficult with money. It can be difficult, right, to sustain yourself. And so I think a lot of feminines were dealing with that. And now the feminine stepping into the energy of mastering abundance, mastering stability, and coupling that with the mastering of the spiritual realm, of the mastering of being in this earthly body, being in this earthly plane, but being a spiritual being. with a higher quest, with a higher vision, with a higher connection to source. This is really, really beautiful. This is a beautiful union energy. So I don't even need to pull the union energy because we have the union energy that's really unfolded right here. So let me check the time here. Okay, we're at about 40 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I'm going to get to my personal readings for today. They are my priority. But I did want to get this out to you. Again, if you're after a personal reading, you can reach out to me at the email listed below. Please do like the video. It greatly helps other people find my channel, find this video that can assist them on their journey, and it helps the channel grow. And please check me out over on Patreon. And I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your understanding. Thank you so much just for being exactly who you are and for assisting this planet at this most crucial time. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.